Hello peeps, welcome back to Big Deck Playa with me, Matt Sparks. On today's show, we're taking a look at a rogue deck. It seems like rogue is one of the most underplayed classes, in my opinion. Very rarely see rogue on ladder, and I thought it was probably about time that we changed that. So here we are with a deck called Burst Rogue Legend Grinder Race Hunters. So here we are with the deck. It's a bit of a long name, so for the purpose of this, I've just called it a Burst Rogue, because that's essentially what it is. This was posted by Wings of Wax on Hearthstone.com. He's got quite a few different decks on there, but this one particularly caught my eye. It's similar to a deck that I've played before, quite a long time ago, but this one is kind of done on a budget, and I kind of like that idea. So you can probably get most of these cards. Most of them are fairly basic. There's a few from Goblins versus Gnomes, and there's one from Nax, but the rest of them are fairly basic cards, so it should be fairly cheap to make, and it has proven to be pretty effective so far in what I've played. So let's start at the top and work our way down as we normally do. We'll start off with 2 Cold Bloods, so you can give a minion 2 attack or combo it to give them 4 attack instead. Now this is all about doing as much damage as quickly as possible. Now I normally will keep my Cold Bloods for doing damage with charge minions, so that I'm guaranteed to get that damage out, or I'll keep it to one side for a turn where I have minions on the board that can attack. Because the last thing you want to do is play a minion and then use the combo to get the +4 attack on that minion, and then that minion die without attacking, because then you've lost that Cold Blood. We have 2 Deadly Poisons, because it's a rogue deck and you kind of want to have the poisons. I think most rogue decks have poisons, so it's pretty good. It's a nice way to make combos as well, because it's only 1 mana. Also at 1 mana we have an Argent Squire. Well, 2 Argent Squires in fact. Having the Divine Shield is pretty effective, because you can make better trades should you need to. Now most of the time you're probably going to be going face, but if something is on the board and you have an Argent Squire complete with Divine Shield, you could always pop a Cold Blood onto the Argent Squire to make sure that it trades better. Also at 1 mana we have 2 Leper Gnomes. You won't see many high cost creatures in this deck. There's no Dr. Boom and there's no Sludge Belcher for a change. I think this is probably the first deck in a long time that those minions do not feature. Leper Gnomes, good 1-drop, 2 attack. If they do take it out, it does 2 damage to them. If they don't take it out, it's going to continue doing that 2 damage anyway, so it's pretty nice. And I don't feel too bad about using Leper Gnomes to make trades, because you're still going to do 2 damage to the enemy hero. 1 Southsea Deckhand, you're almost always going to have a weapon equipped. These are also quite nice for making combos, because there's still 1 mana. Most of these cards are good for making combos. Obviously you want to combo into Cold Blood. Playing a Southsea Deckhand and then playing a Cold Blood onto the Southsea Deckhand is a guaranteed 6 damage. So that's pretty cool. We have 2 Blade Flurries. Now if you've got 2 durability on your weapon and you have your Deadly Poison on it already, you can attack the face for 3 damage, and then you can use Blade Flurry to deal 3 damage to everything on the board, and that another 3 damage to the face. You can do 6 damage to face in 1 turn with that kind of combo. So remember that Blade Flurry will hit your opponent's face as well as everything on the board. It can be a really, really effective way to win the game. 2 Eviscerates, because I think Eviscerate is probably one of the better rogue spells. You always want to combo into Eviscerate. If you're having to use the 2 damage to get board control and stuff like that, then you're probably not going to win the game. You don't really want to do too much board control, enough to limit the damage that you're taking, or that will take out your things quite easily, but if you can, use this on the face. We have 2 Saps to get rid of any nasty taunts that get in your way, or anything that gets buffed beyond control. You can sap it, send it all the way back to your opponent's hand. Or if it's like a druid or something and they use like an innovate or a coin or something like that to be able to put out a minion in the first place, sending it back to the hand can be quite nice. 2 Defias Ringleader. We haven't seen Defias Ringleader in ages, but the coin Defias is still a thing and it's still quite effective. Being able to get 2 minions on the board turn 1 when you have the coin can be really effective. A 2-2 and a 2-1. Not bad at all. 2 goblin auto barbers. Make sure you have your weapon out when you play this. This can be quite nice to combo with the deadly poison as well, because this will give your weapon +1 attack when it gets played. If you've got the deadly poison on your weapon as well, that'll buff your weapon up to 4 damage. At 3 mana we have 2 arcane golems, because we're all about the burst and we're all about that damage to the face. So these have charge. These are really nice targets for your cold blood. Popping a cold blood onto an arcane golem will give it 8 attack, which is the thing of dreams. Also at 3 mana we have 2 SI7 agents. Try and get the combo off on these. It's not 100% necessary, but a 3-3 for 3 is pretty standard. It's not anything to... It's not nothing special, but if you can get that 2 damage off, then suddenly it becomes a bit more useful. Using this to get rid of minions on the board is probably ideal. We have 2 Tinker's Sharpsword Oil. Now, this is also nice to combo with the arcane golems. Remember to combo it. So play something before you play this. If you can play Deadly Poison first and then the Tinker's Sharpsword Oil, it will have... So it'll give your weapon 6 attack and a random friendly minion will get +3 attack. Also, these can be used to combo with Blade Flurry. Provided you've got 2 durability, you can do a whole bunch of damage on your main attack and then use Blade Flurry to do that damage to everything on the board plus your opponent's face, which is very cool indeed. 2 piloted shredders, because you need some things that are gonna stick on the board a bit, and piloted shredders can do that quite well. And they usually trade fairly well as well, so that's pretty nice. You can usually get a 2 for 1 out of one of these. At 5 mana we have 2 Azure Drakes. You get a little bit of card draw. The spell damage is very nice when comboing with Eviscerate, because you'll get that extra 1 damage. So Eviscerates will hit for 5 instead of 4, which can make all the difference. And then finally, last but not least, we have a Loatheb, also at 5 mana, which makes your enemy spells cost 5 more the next turn. Using this to hold off your opponent or protect your minions on the board from a Flame Strike or a Blizzard or a Consecration, anything like that, because if you've got like 2 or 3 minions out on the board already and then you play your Loatheb, you're probably going to set yourself up to do quite a lot of damage the next turn. So Loatheb can be very useful, and make sure you try and use him to his best efficiency if you can. Plus he hits for 5, so you know that's pretty nice in itself. So that's the Burst Rogue, that's the Burst Rogue deck. I have been having a blast playing this deck. It's been a long time since I played a Rogue deck. I used to play Rogue in the beta, and then once all the nerfs came in and stuff, I just kind of lost touch a little bit with playing rogues. So this is probably one of my least played classes. So I'm probably not the best rogue player that's ever been around, but I'm having a lot of fun with this deck, and it's a bit different from what I usually play. As I say, there's no Dr. Boom, there's no high cost minions, and this deck is really cheap to craft. So I really think you should take a look at it if you haven't already. So that's the deck. If you play this deck, let me know how you get on. If you make any videos, feel free to link them to me and I will be sure to check them out. If you have any recommendations for future decks that you'd like to see featured on Big Deck Playa, then again, link them to me and I'll check them out. Otherwise, I will see you next week for some more Big Deck Playa. Thanks very much for watching. Bye bye.